and you slide the toothpick in and out. It's like, it's fine. It works.
Come on, Tom. You know they were those cocktail toothpicks that you stick cherries in from when you were drinking gin when you were like 10 years old.
Yes, when I was 10 years old and drinking gin.
Hello and welcome to the Cantina Chatter Podcast. My name is Victoria and I'm your host on this galactic adventure through all things Star Wars, film and television, toys, theme parks, video games, and more.
All right, so it's been a while since we've done a dedicated Black Series Cantina Chatter Podcast episode. And I'm looking forward to talking Black Series. I feel like it's been neglected a little bit on my end, with the Vintage Collection podcast. And, even on the channel, I haven't really gotten into Black Series a whole lot lately. So to help me do that, welcoming me back, Tom Chorlton. Tom, how are you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing fabulastic. I got my Bo-Katan shirt right here.
Oh, very nice. I got my Pikachu shirt right here. Not quite the same, but,
Nice. I got a barking dog in the background. Probably the mailman. And then for the first time on Cantina Chatter, we also have Evan from SWTVC on Instagram, Mile High Ground. Evan, how are you doing?
I am fantastic, Victoria. Thank you for having me. And also, don't tell any of my SWTVC cohorts that I am doing a Black Series show. They might fire me.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that to happen. So, no.
So, I don't have an interesting shirt like you guys. It's just the Charlotte's Web cover. So,
Aww,
Charlotte's Web. That's a cool shirt. That's a cool shirt. I
got it for free, so I've been wearing it a lot. Nothing's better than free.
I like that. Anybody drinking anything?
Water.
Red Kool-Aid.
It
tastes like red.
Is it really red Kool-Aid?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were kidding. I thought you were like, that was like a code name for like a gin beverage or something.
No, it's too early for me to be drinking gin currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red Kool-Aid is gin, a little bit of bourbon, and a spoonful of sugar.
There we go.
Sounds good. I just have a cup of hot green tea.
Aren't we a quaint little bunch today?
Yeah, I'm behaving today. Also, my allergies are really acting up today, so tea is probably the thing that's going to agree with me the most.
For sure.
At the end of this episode, we'll do a little show and tell, and we'll see any new acquisitions that we've gone, either Black Series or not. Star Wars definitely, of course. And, we can talk a little bit about FanFest Friday, Black Series Reveals 2, just kind of catch up with the Black Series because, like I said, we haven't focused on it in a while, and there are some things that warrant discussion about, within the Black Series. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys.
Yeah, same.
Cool. So let's go back just a little bit here. Looking at Hasbro Pulse, they have recently, the archive wave has been hitting stores that had the hover tank driver, the Death Trooper, the Shore Trooper, and the Tusken Raider. Have you guys picked up any of that wave?
No.
Yes. I'll counter that one. Yeah, I actually got my shipment in from Dorkside of that, but I've also seen it in the Denver area at multiple stores. And so I picked some up, and I picked up a tank driver for another buddy. I just had to buy one because, being a TVC collector, I really just want a tank driver. So I just needed an excuse to buy one. Unfortunately, he doesn't go in my tank, so he's going to someone else. I just needed to scratch the itch a little bit. But I do think that this was a really nice archive wave. Like, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I like troop builders in Black Series.
Yeah, I already had all of these from previous years. I did place the order for the case from Entertainment Earth anyway because, I like supporting these lines.
Yeah.
And then it got here and I'm like, I should have just saved them. I mean, I don't mind. I want to support the line, obviously, but I mean, like these are kind of like those refresh waves. It's, sometimes they kind of make sense, and sometimes it's like, do I really need to see the hover tank driver or the Death Trooper figures that went on pretty mass clearance back, during Rogue One era, around that time frame.
That's why I was surprised about him, especially the Death Trooper. That was hanging around on our Walgreens, shelf for an awfully long time there, untouched. So
yeah,
but Black Series stuff, it can be a peg warmer like Slave Leia or Greedo for years, and then suddenly the aftermarket value goes, Dogecoin on you. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I just.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
I just got all those the first time through, so I didn't need more of them.
I got them because I'm a completist, I guess, and these are ones that I didn't need to pick up because I don't really benefit from the archive appeal of photoreal. It's kind of very much like the vintage collection specialty waves that they do. Yeah. So while it's not necessarily exciting because these figures are not ones that were particularly hard to come by, I know I found Tuskens for like $5 in a King Supers once back when they came out. It was nice because they seemed relevant. Unfortunately, it's a wave that was like tailor-made for figures that don't exist in either scale. So that's kind of where I was a little frustrated, where it was like, oh yeah, Tank Driver would be great in TVC, and then like the reissues of the troops would be, oh, it'd be cool to kit bash some a Din Djarin in disguise, but or Tuskens to go with our Mando figures, and it's good to go with the the Black Series versions of those, but it just kind of seems like they were to supplement things that aren't out right now or have not been made.
Yeah. And even like the Hoth wave from just before this wave, it was like, okay, Hoth Luke, Hoth Han.
I see those figures everywhere I go.
Yeah, Thrawn was a smart repack, and so was Cody.
Yeah, there's actually a Cody hanging at the Walmart that I just went to today, still there. So I was surprised.
I found mine at Target. I was surprised.
I got the first release Cody. I didn't. That was at a random Walgreens out of state, and I had no idea when people were like, "Oh, we want Cody re-released." I'm like, "Well, why?" Type. Holy God!
Yep.
So
that's how I felt about Bosk in one of the first couple waves that they did. Was like, I remember getting them for $15, or no, I got IG 88 for like $15 at a Walgreens, and passed on Bosk, and I went to go get Bosk again a couple years later online. Was like, no, I guess he's $100 now. All right, but I did get him eventually at Celebration. But
yeah, IG 88 was a little perplexing too. My biggest thing with IG 88 was that they brought him back and they didn't fix those little rubber pieces on his joints, because on my first one they completely disintegrated. Yeah. So, it came back with the same things. And you have the Mandalorian IG-11, which inaccurately completely uses the same sculpt from IG-88, and it's got the same thing. So
I hate that figure. I absolutely hate the IG-88
Me too.
figure. Its legs are just absolute rubbish. And you think about the nice little Clone Wars IG-86, I think, the assassin droids that were on that, and just how amazingly posable those were, because they had, the proper joints for the legs, and 88 is just this stiff. It's a terrible, terrible figure.
It is.
I hate that figure, and it really bums me out because the original set of Bounty Hunters is such a great, cool little thing that you can set up, and you've just got this one that just
you're stuck with that IG-88.
Yeah, I finally got the SH Figure Arts IG-11. I haven't opened it yet, but it looks cool. He's really tall. Looking forward to opening it up. But yeah, no, I mean, these archives are interesting, and it's like Evan, like you were saying, these are the same discussions we kind of have with the refresh vintage collection waves, that sometimes the selections don't just make a lot of sense. Yeah. These aren't all smart repacks. Tusken Raiders cool. I mean, I guess he was featured in Mandalorian quite a bit early in season 2 of the Mandalorian, so yeah, that one's cool to see. And the Shore Trooper was a Walmart exclusive, and it wasn't that easy to find. I don't know if I ever saw that at retail.
Oh man, he was a Walmart exclusive?
Yep.
Oh man, shows how much I've been paying attention. I have them all, but I can't remember. when and where I got them.
I think that's my case too. Yeah.
I did end up with 5 of them still.
And then you bought another one?
Yeah, it's because I pre-ordered the set. But yeah, no, I love that figure. It's one of my favorite Black Series. I just love that Trooper design. It just, with the off-white, and I don't know, I just love it. They're awesome. And we're still missing one of the, I think we have the Captain, we got the normal one, and we're missing the, I don't know, Lieutenant or something. We're missing one of them.
Is it the one with like the gray bars?
Yeah. We have one officer, but not the other one. So so we're still waiting. And I ask them about this every now and then. Like when I see them at conventions, I'm like, hey, that other shore trooper, when is it coming? No plans right now. No plans to announce anything. Yeah. We've noticed it's been 5 years since Rogue One.
Woo. Yeah. No
Still
plans.
no Bodhi Rook.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that kills me. Bodhi is definitely one of my top wants across, any scale right now. Just especially because it was nice to see. I'm half Arab, and so it's nice to occasionally get a protagonist in media that is of Arabic heritage, and it's nice to see a good guy every once in a while. And I really loved Bodhi. I love Riz Ahmed as an actor. I just watched The Sound of Metal the other night. Fantastic. If you haven't seen Four Lions, that's another great one. But yeah, Bodhi, I'm really hoping that he's in the cards this year for at least one scale, but definitely both would be nice.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. At least we've got a Bodhi Rook, even though he's that
5 POA.
5 POA thing, which,
He's not terrible. He's not, it's just let down by the terrible articulation. It's a good sculpt otherwise.
Yeah.
He's got a cool accessory.
Yeah, the little tank
right.
or the backpack thing with the hose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right in the trash, that one.
Yeah. That's terrible, Tom. You threw that out.
I just could feel part of the completist collectors out there just cringing.
I didn't do it, but I can't keep track of all the little weapons these things come with, so they're just all in the big bin together, and it's somewhere in there, I guess. A friend of mine who shooting the Galaxy, he sometimes Matt, he sometimes comes and borrows figures so he can take photos of them. He's like, "Oh, do you have the accessory for this one or the head for this one?" I'm like, maybe. Is it in the box? If the stormtrooper's got a gun, he's an armed stormtrooper. If you tell me that's not the right gun, I'm like, it's a gun. This drives Victoria nuts, by the way.
I mean,
makes her just nuts.
I'm screaming on the inside, but I'm laughing for the sake of the podcast.
Yeah, when the lightsabers are the wrong hilts, it's
that. I'm that guy that I spent last fall. I went through with all my 3 3/4 inch figures because I just had a box of the lightsabers from when I was a kid up until probably the past couple of years. And I painstakingly compared them all to all the JTA archives, the Rebel Scum archives, Jedi Biz. I was looking at every single lightsaber across every variation of figure. And I think I got most of them back to not only the correct lightsaber, but the one that came with them.
Nice.
So,
here's the thing. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. It was just exhausting.
Oh, here's the thing about me. The lightsabers I had when I was a kid were toothpicks that I'd either markered green or markered red because they were the original vintage ones, and none of the accessories for any of that stuff survived in my house at all. Just all gone. And you slide the toothpick in and out. It's like, it's fine. It works.
Come on, Tom. You know they were those cocktail toothpicks that you stick cherries in from when you were drinking gin when you were like 10 years old.
Yes, when I was 10 years old and drinking gin.
Yes.
You were drinking gin out of the bottle.
Hey, when I was 10 years old, Star Wars was dead, man. That was a dead property. Ninja Turtles all the way.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, so I just sounded like an alien in my head for just a second. I don't know, some weird delay or something. Weird. So it's pyramid UFOs, Tom.
It's the pyramid UFOs.
Yeah. So okay, let's move back to Black Series, and so more recently, so this wave has just started hitting. We're talking about it a lot earlier, Tom. Where we have like Bo-Katan, we have Who else is in that wave? It looks like it's Asajj Ventress. It is
2 of the Bad Batch guys
Two of the Bad
and
Batch.
the Special Forces clone.
Elite Squad
right.
Trooper. Yeah,
The
Elite
black-
Squad
the
Trooper,
black trooper, right?
and 2 of the Bad Batch guys. I keep hearing people saying I saw this wave at Walmart or I saw it at Target. And I haven't seen it, but Tom, I think you've seen it, haven't you?
At Walmart?
You found it somewhere, didn't you?
Oh, no, I received 2 of the figures. I received one of the Bad Batch guys. I don't remember which one. And just the other day, I got Asajj Ventress from Big Bad Toy Store.
Oh,
from
nice.
Big Bad. Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is the first one that I've gotten out of that batch. Bo-Katan still hasn't arrived. The second Bad Batch one hasn't arrived, and I don't currently plan on buying a black clone trooper. But this figure is just, I love this. This has been long needed for my Clone Wars display.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately means either one of the clones that's in that display or one of the battle droids has to go into the bin. It'll probably be the battle droid because they just fall over anyway.
They do. They do
Yeah.
stupid things.
But yeah, it's a great figure. And the cool cloth. This is like a fantastic, like velvety kind of, I don't know, shiny material. It's really awesome.
I think she's the one I'm most excited for out of that wave. I haven't gotten that in yet. I'm trying to think. I think that's the first wave I missed out or forgot to order the case of, and so I've just been piecing together pre-orders for it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did too.
Yeah, Amazon shipped my Bo-Katan already. I had already gotten one through Hasbro's Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest. They sent that box with some goodies in
right.
it, and they sent me Bo-Katan. But then I just got a notification that Amazon shipped the one I had pre-ordered, back in December. I think it was in December.
It's a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm
excited for that.
Yeah, no, totally. And yeah, the wave seems cool. Ventress, I'm really jealous of Tom. I really want Ventress super, super bad. But yeah, the other ones look neat too. Somebody sent me a picture on Instagram the other day of the Elite Squad Trooper from Bad Batch. And it was like in the box with a broken arm.
Oh.
Huh, that sucks.
I don't know how or why that happened, but yeah. So that's the only instance I've seen of that though. So, probably just a one-off thing, but I'm excited for that because it's a blacked out clone trooper. And Tom, I'm sure you're really excited about that.
If I like the cartoon show, which I'd be surprised if I didn't, and I find them prevalent enough in that, then I'll probably pick one up. But as you know, I'm kind of done with clones. I've got a lot of clones at this point. There's limited space.
Yeah.
And the clones I want Fives and I want Echo from their Clone Wars appearance, because those are 2 major characters in that show. I want those more than Bly or
Cody repack.
Well, Cody's an important character too. It's like Cody, Rex, Fives, and Echo, and then you get miscellaneous. But he's a black clone trooper, so he's going to sell like gangbusters.
Yeah,
it's possible my wife will want him. She's the one that convinced me to get the Gaming Greats black stormtrooper with the blue parts.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I want that, so that's over on her shelf over there.
Nice.
She's got a small set of various things that I mostly like, and she's like, yeah, but I want this guy.
That's
There you
cool.
go.
That's super cool. Yeah, so now I'm looking forward to getting the rest of these. And yeah, the Bad Batch, I haven't yet memorized all the names of the different dudes yet.
Yeah.
But the show looks like it's going to be cool. I've been seeing like the more recent trailer they did, and it looks neat. It looks intriguing, and Tarkin and seeing some of those other characters come back is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, more Star Wars. Can't complain there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking forward to getting Ming-Na's character.
Fennec Shand.
Fennec, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think we lucked out with Bo-Katan looks the same in the Clone Wars, Rebels, and Mandalorian for the most part. Fennec seems to also be an ageless one, and there's another character. But I am curious if the Fennec Shand is going to be branded as a Bad Batch figure or as a Mandalorian figure if she hits the line.
Oh,
soon.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Bo-Katan's
or Book of Boba Fett.
Mandalorian, but but she's just going into my Clone Wars display.
Yeah.
So how is Hasbro going to color code all of these shows that are coming out? Because they've already done like all the colors like on these Black Series boxes. How are they going to do like Lando? How are they going to do the Book of Boba Fett? How are they going to do I don't know. There's a crap load of shows that are coming.
I think they're gonna have to recycle a bunch of colors. I feel like the orange, the rusty kind of orange that the Mandalorian has, is also very close to the one the Phantom Menace has, and it looks very close to the one that A New Hope also has. So yeah, I don't know. I could easily see the Lando show being like yellow, just because that's been the theme for his shirts in the past 2 movies that he's been in.
Do we know if Donald Glover's coming back yet as Lando?
It hasn't been announced, but I think that's the presumption.
I mean, I'm over the moon excited for that show if it's Donald Glover coming back.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I mean, I loved everything in Solo. I went into that movie like this. I don't need a Han Solo movie, and then I left it like this.
Yep, me too.
It's so
man.
goofy and charming, and everyone's funny and goofy, and that's what I like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But Lando was just so perfect that it's like, yeah, I want that. If you come back with someone that's not Donald Glover, that's going to be some tough shoes to fill.
What if it's just a series of Billy D. Williams telling young children of the Resistance or New Republic war stories, but they don't flash back? It's just him telling stories to kids.
I mean, that would be pretty amusing.
Mr. Lando's Neighborhood.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Like, I mean, if they had him in there, but then it was flashing back, and then it was like Donald Glover like going through these adventures and stuff.
Yeah, kind of like young Indiana Jones stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I hope they don't do that at all.
But Lando show, yes, I'm all here for that. And yeah, they should probably get into like other colors like teal, like fuchsia, like magenta, like burgundy. Like, I mean, there's plenty of colors. They don't have to be orange, or there's different shades of various colors. You could do
like really bright neon colors, right? Like
yeah, like lime green, baby blue, like I mean,
cyan.
there's cyan,
None of them are gray or white yet, are they? Mm-mm. I feel like Ahsoka her show could benefit from being the white.
White, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, we'll see how they do it. I kind of feel like they kind of cornered themselves at that one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously it's going to be a while because they're not going to make these figures for years. So
yeah, we'll be seeing the Obi-Wan Kenobi series comes out next year. So does Andor.
We hope, yeah.
Yeah, we hope. I fully expect to see the Obi-Wan Kenobi from that show and like Cassian's supporting figure or character in the show, whoever that ends up being. I can easily see those coming just in time for Christmas 2026. So.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. There's a Walgreens by us that you can still buy a Cassian Andor Black Series.
Yes, same here.
That's,
same here.
Man, I loved that movie and I liked those characters, but
well, they packaged I think the least interesting Cassian that they could have for the general
that was an
assortment.
odd choice.
And then they put them in like 5 waves that they pushed through to stores.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah. There was, a bit of a overconfidence on that. I know that's probably why the state of retail is the way it is now, is they got burned, but not necessarily through any fault of their own, just by ordering what they thought they needed to. But the case assortments were dreadful for years.
Yeah. They're still here. I could still go to Walgreens and find Cassian and Jin hanging around, and the boxes are all like they look like they've been there for 5 years because they have.
Yeah.
And I'd buy both of them with photoreal in a heartbeat.
I laughed during the Q&A that you recently did, Victoria, when you were mentioning the Rogue One characters, and even Patrick was just like, "No, I never thought I'd hear someone asking for that Black Series TVC Jyn Erso ever again." It was like, hey man, slap some photoreal on it. You got $13 more from me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that I know they they're still really cheap on Amazon or on eBay. You could still get Jyn for like the first vintage collection, like $7, something like that. So
you can get her for $4.99 on kidswarehouse.com.
Oh,
Same
my
with
goodness.
Cassian.
Kidswarehouse.com. Why would we be shopping on a site like that?
I don't know. I found it from a fluke years ago. I check it every month. There's always something cool there. I stocked up on a bunch of custom fodder there with like Rey's and Jyn, Cassian, and Jedi Master Luke.
Nice. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find at random stores sometimes. What do you guys think of the First Order Black Series Stormtrooper helmet?
I love it, and I want it, and I didn't pre-order it yet. I'm dragging my feet.
Can't you still get it? You can still get it, right?
Yeah, I'm part of me is kind of waiting for a sale. I hate being that guy that like is waiting for some kind of discount. The helmets aren't my passion, so that's probably why I don't feel as guilty about it. I still might end up pulling the trigger on it because it looks really nice. I didn't get the Cardinal one just because I don't love the character as much as everyone else seems to.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's just a red First Order Stormtrooper.
Right. Yeah.
So yay, colors. But I do really like it. I'm glad that it seems it's the Last Jedi version and not the Force Awakens version.
You're right. I'm looking at it right now, and it does have those little like slits in the grill on the mouth. So
I'm not a helmet collector, so it's going to be a no from me. But they're really neat.
Yeah.
I think Evan, I'm sort of worried I'd end up in your camp where I'd be like, oh, I'll just get a couple, and then it's just the floodgates open. Like I bought the Kylo Ren helmet because I dressed up as him for Halloween back in, I guess, 2015, right? 2015 was that?
And
when
I
that came
did
out?
too a couple years ago. Remember, Tom?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, you can buy. I'll mail you my helmet if you want. But outside of that, yeah, I'd probably buy a Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet though.
I absolutely would buy one of those and a Jango Fett helmet.
I was debating maybe buying the new Boba Fett helmet because I've got a bit of a gut, and I think I could pull off a decent Boba Fett with the helmet on and
Yeah.
few extra pounds.
Yeah, I got the dad bod Boba Fett thing going on myself. It's I'm glad I can finally look like one of my favorite characters.
Right? Yeah,
So.
it's fantastic.
I'm
took
just
a lot,
kidding.
lot of work.
Tamara Morrison is way more healthy and fit than I can ever imagine I could be.
Yeah,
So,
I know. No, he's got a there was like a bunch of stuff that was on him
Yeah.
that made it look. Yeah.
It's a very broad design, and then also with like the very flowy kind of roby parts, like the pants being kind of like harem pants almost.
Yeah.
Which I may or may not have on myself at the moment, but we don't need to talk about what pants I'm wearing.
Yeah.
At least you're wearing pants.
Woo!
the Pants
effort.
Chatter podcast. We're talking about everybody's pants. So Evan, on this Black Series box, it looks like the stripe is red. Is that the Last Jedi color they're using?
Yes, yeah. Last Jedi is getting red. So I think the only ones we don't know right now are we don't know the colors for Attack of the Clones. No, we do know the color for Attack of the Clones. We don't know the color for Force Awakens. We don't know
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith, and Solo, and Rogue One. So I think those four are the ones that we don't know right now.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to find any Force Awakens colors in there for a while.
Or less.
It's gonna be a while. So
Yeah, this might be the only Last Jedi one we see.
yeah, I'm surprised they even did one Rise of Skywalker one. I mean, I appreciate it. You know me, I'm a filthy person who enjoys the sequels for what they are.
You
But-
are allowed to do that, sir.
Yes, thank you. Doesn't always feel that way. But yeah. I really do like that Rey figure, and some of the rumors that are on some of the lists out there for a couple of the sequel figures that may or may not be coming. I'm very excited for, and I can't wait to see how those turn out. So
What are those?
I think there was rumors that there's like a Jedi training flashback. Luke and Leia. Forgive me if I'm not supposed to say that right now. I just read it.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard that too.
Yeah, so
Also,
I'd buy those.
I keep seeing Ben Solo's name pop up.
Yeah,
that's a missing one.
I would love that so much. He's one of my most wanted figures up there with Bodhi Rook.
I really liked him in that movie.
Yeah, Yeah, I just like the good boy sweater Ben Solo, man. I want him. I want him in my collection.
Yeah.
And all his lines of dialogue that he has in that movie. Ouch!
Ow.
Ouch. That was amazing. That was so, like, I'm not a fan of that movie, but the stuff they did with him, particularly there at the ending before he gets, tossed aside, was the kind of humor that I really, really appreciate in these sorts of things, where there's suddenly this sort of casual, like, thing going on.
The Solo shrug.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was cool. The more time goes on, though, and I know they never would have done this, and I don't know that I ultimately would have liked it had I seen them do this. I kind of feel like Rey should have died and then he should have lived, but I don't know.
Yeah. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Anyway.
There were some choices. There were some choices.
I still kind of liked it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's...
No, I did too. It's still my favorite of the sequels.
It's actually my least favorite of the sequels, but I still find myself grinning quite a bit if I just turn my mind off and I'm just like, ooh, yeah, Star Wars lightsaber
Yeah,
fights.
I mean, Palpatine, right? I mean,
yeah, somehow he returned.
Somehow.
And somehow I want him in my
Secrets
my collection. And come on, Hasbro, Sith magic that one.
And then, like I always say, like how
and he
Poe...
needs to come on the weird crane thing.
Oh
yeah.
Like, it makes me think of like my. Sorry, I just hit my microphone. It makes me think of my like mic stands. I just want to put a little Palpatine on the end of it and have him visit all the other figures.
Yeah, Poe has some memorable lines, and the other one that he's always like when the fleet's being taken out by the lightning, he's like, "My friends, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was gonna happen, but we're all dying."
Poor Poe.
I liked the scene where Poe and Finn are playing the chess game Dejeric?
Yes.
Dark, yeah.
With Chewbacca, and they say it's because you cheat, and they're, no, we know you don't cheat. You're 100 years older than us. Like, I liked that a lot.
There's a fan edit that I really like of the movie that actually puts that Dejeric scene at the end and has them all on the Falcon while Rey is at the Tatooine homestead or the Lars homestead. So they all went with her and they're playing Dejeric as she's off doing something. It's like way more effective that way, where it's like, oh, cool, they're all friends off onto the next adventure. And
I like that. Yeah, that's I hadn't heard about that, but that's great. Yeah, that's great. I love that.
And there's also a Ben Solo ghost. So
yeah, that would have made sense. You think of Return of the Jedi, you have Anakin's ghost, so why wouldn't you have Ben's ghost? Like, just
I was waiting for it in the theater, and I thought, did I miss it? And no, I didn't. But oh well, I still want a Ben Solo figure.
Well, it's because after that kiss, he didn't want to make things awkward.
Yeah, he didn't want to stick around.
He bailed. Yeah. He's like, I'm out of here, girl.
Oh yeah, we're technically family, I guess. So.
Anyway, let's move back to Black Series, and
I like toys. I like the toys.
I like the toys too. And Evan's right, that Dark Side Rey is really good.
Yeah. Really good. I like the toys. What toys? There's barely any toys, but yeah.
My only complaint about Dark Side Rey is that I feel like her skin tone's a little too normal. Like I feel like it should be a little more pale.
Yeah.
And then there's
kind of sickly.
Yeah, more sickly, and then wouldn't it have been cool if they did like an alternate head that has like the teeth?
Yes, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
So even if they pulled like a Voldemort action figure, I think Mattel made those back in the day, where you could get the Quirrell figure and then flip him around and flip the turban, and he was Voldemort. And it was like, oh yeah, give me a Rey that does that.
Yeah, and there's a variant too where the lightsaber hilt is gold, and then that was like really early on. Then they changed it to silver to match the film better. So. The one that I have is just the silver hilt.
I have both because that was for some reason my compulsion. But I do prefer the look of the gold one actually, but I do like the screen accurate silver one. I mean, as screen accurate as it can go without the unstable effect that you've brought up before.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing, that the lightsaber blades should be unstable, just like Kylo's, and they're not. They're like smooth as a baby's bottom. So the I lost my train of thought. Anyway.
There were pyramids flying over Australia.
Yes. UFO pyramids
from space.
So that's a neat figure. And let's see what else. Okay, so Tom, you're gonna like talking about these because I know you're excited about Jackson. But yeah, this like what do we call these? These are like
Publishing greats.
Comic.
Yeah,
is that what they are?
Expanded universe, old legends, expanded universe stuff.
Comic greats. Yeah, that's fine. That works.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the box, Tom, for Jackson, and like the picture of him compared to the figure is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's he's a real ugly, creepy looking rabbit thing, and I don't know why they decided to do that. I almost wasn't going to buy him, and I'm still debating whether I'm going to cancel the pre-order or not, because like Jackson's a silly bunny rabbit character. He's silly. Let's just embrace it, guys. He's a silly bunny rabbit character. Always have to he's grizzled and it's very, very peculiar looking. I don't get that choice. I don't like that choice. I think that was that's a real bummer. Yeah, sorry. That's my take on Jackson. But I'm still currently planning on getting him. So
yeah,
you know.
I kind of agree. I like the interpretation. I always appreciate a realistic interpretation, but I think they could have gone a little less Zack Snyder with it and gone just, get goofy with it. Don't get so grim and serious with the green talking space rabbit.
Right, exactly.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really know a ton about Jackson, but I know people have been asking for the figure for years in 3 3/4.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Eat that 3 3/4 lovers.
Yeah, because it's
trash.
It's going so great for us already.
Don't worry, you can get Anakin in a Padawan outfit again.
Oh my God, I don't speak about peasant Anakin. If
a TIE fighter pilot.
If tomorrow Hasbro were to be like, hey, we're putting a peasant Anakin in the Black Series, I would. Not that I dislike that costume, but because I'm so mad about the TVC version that if it came to Black Series, I would just straight up stop collecting Black Series. I would sell off my collection and be like, you know what? No more peasant Anakin.
I'd be okay if they went back and redid like an all new, like Revenge of the Sith Anakin or Attack of the Clones Anakin, like just completely re-engineer them.
Or maybe put the skirt on the Attack of the Clones one.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed about Attack of the Clones Anakin before? Okay, so back in 2003, they released very early on that year a wave of Attack of the Clones figures. It was Anakin from the ceremony, I think. Yeah, Anakin from like the marriage ceremony. And then that was one of the end waves, I think, of the 2003 ones. Yeah, and then it was like Padme in the ceremony outfit, the wedding dress, and I forget who else was in the wave. But the Anakin, it always puzzled me that he's not wearing like a normal cloak with sleeves. It's just like it's like a cape, and then it has these two like thin like straps that come around the front. And I always just thought that was like creative license, and it was just weird. But then recently, I was looking online at pictures of Anakin from Attack of the Clones, and he's wearing that in some of like the promo shots. Like it's a completely different cloak than what he has in the film.
He actually is wearing that cloak in the film. It's a unique cloak to him where it's just those straps coming down the front. So yeah, that was actually, I didn't notice it for the longest time. But he is wearing that cloak in the film in the Droid Factory and early on. And so I know I was kind of hoping that with the Black Series one, they'd include that with him because we've never gotten that in soft goods in any scale. So I'd like to see how it looks. But yeah, because it's the same color as his under tunic, so his regular robe or his regular tunic sleeves look like cloak sleeves.
Interesting. School us, Evan. School us.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Here's what I want from Black Series. I want all the darn Padmes, right?
Yes.
There was one. I think it was. Yeah, we've got one, and that's a good one. That's the top choice.
Yes.
But like, I think it was during the pandemic. It might have been before the pandemic. I decided I would go through and make certain I had one of each of the 3 3/4 of all the different outfits because they're just, so interesting.
Yeah.
And like the idea of having a set of those in Black Series, like, come on, like
it's perfect.
they're so cool. They're so neat looking. Like,
as some of my SWTVC guys would be like, "Oh, it's dolls anyway." You know what? I don't care. I want those Padme dolls. Give them to me now.
Yes, that's what we're collecting, guys.
Yeah, it's like we're all collecting dolls.
They're dolls.
Yeah.
I like dolls.
The term action figure was just created so that boys would feel okay. Dolls.
The term action figure basically, I think, is what really deep-seated and normalized my personal insecurity as a child. So thanks for that, society.
We live in a society.
Even like today, I'm gonna show you guys this during show and tell. But right now, McDonald's has in the Happy Meals for boys they have Star Wars toys.
Oh, really?
And then for girls they have Disney Princess. And honestly, the princesses are better. I bought the whole set on eBay of the princesses because I got one at McDonald's and I loved it. But anyway, they're still doing that. So like when you drive through, like, do you want a girl toy or a boy toy? I'm like, I kind of want a Star Wars toy. Is that a boy toy? Am I not allowed to have that?
Yeah, I mean it's a whole industry of issues with that whole situation.
Yeah, it's just kind of, what is it? There's a subreddit called Pointlessly Gendered. And that's what it makes me think of. It's like, oh, what toy do you want? I want the cool one. Oh, but what is that to you? Ha ha ha. It's like,
I had it was tricky for me to get the She-Ra figure when I was a kid because I had to go into the pink aisle for it, even though, it's all the same characters as the He-Man stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
yeah. And interestingly, that those McDonald's toys don't like it's a little vehicle. Each one is a different vehicle with like the head or helmet of the character on top, and there is not a single female character in these toys.
Oh.
Well, what do they have then? You're talking about the Star Wars ones?
Yeah, the Star Wars ones that are currently available at McDonald's.
That's a bummer. I guess I was trying to think like, well, what would it be weird for them to put Leia on the Tantive V4? And it's like, no, that's not weird at all. Like, I want that.
So
put Rey in an X-wing.
Yeah, there's no Rey, there's no Leia. So it's Boba Fett, Yoda, Chewbacca, Sith Trooper, Darth Vader, Finn or Lando, I'm not sure which one it is, Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren, and First Order Stormtrooper.
So they just went for the recognizable ones.
Yeah, and they're mostly just like helmets or masks.
Mostly. A couple of them are unhelmeted, but yeah. Anyway, Black Series.
Yeah, I don't disagree that they could have done a better job with that, but
Do the helmets look better than the Black Series helmets with the misaligned heads underneath?
Oh gosh. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Sorry.
You're right.
I've been frustrated having to fix a couple of my figures lately.
So other comic characters in this lineup. So we have shirtless Darth Maul, Sith Apprentice. We have Karner Jax, I think, or is it Kirk Canos? I don't know which one it is.
It's Kirk Canos in a Karner Jax box.
Okay.
Forlom.
Yeah.
All right.
Forlom or Zuckuss.
Yeah.
And then Luke Skywalker in Salamiri? Salamiri,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, is it the one that they had packed in with Thrawn for the, was that San Diego Comic-Con? Is Salamiri?
No, those were just like statue things that he had behind him. So
okay.
This is a new tool.
Okay.
I think that figure is it's all the unsold Dagobah ones that they finally took away from Targets after clearancing them out, and they're like, oh, let's paint it black.
Ooh, what are they? I can't wait till we get the Jar Jar in black deco then.
Oh, poor Jar Jar. Oh,
he's $4 at my
heart,
Target
man.
right now.
Oh, it absolutely breaks my heart because I'd wanted him for so long.
Yeah.
Here he is. Oh man, he's a
great figure
so
too.
Good. He's so good, and it's just that's the only figure. I live in Brooklyn, New York, so like Targets and Walmarts, certainly there's no Walmarts around it. They're not things I visit often. It tends to be when we're traveling somewhere. And recently we went traveling, and the only Star Wars stuff was a bunch of Baby Yoda stuff that, good luck getting rid of that now.
Yeah.
And Jar Jars and those weird other scale things.
Mission
that are
Fleet.
Always, I guess so, yeah. And the Jar Jar thing just was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's really too bad. It's an excellent figure. I love the
Yeah.
Jar Jar figure. The issue is, and I said this on Twitter the other day, was I have concerns that Hasbro is going to see that, they tried their attempt at a prequel character, and that it just didn't do very well. But I mean, there's other factors at play. It's not that it's a prequel character. I mean, Jar Jar has a much bigger following than he did, 20 years ago. A lot of people love Jar Jar now.
Yeah.
And, they're charging $30 for a figure that could have easily just been a standard Black Series release. So
Yeah, and he comes in solid cases.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Stores
Victoria,
ordered
you mentioned
multiple
that.
because it's
Yeah.
yeah. And then also he's
Yeah.
available at the same price at Best Buy on a TPM card with none of the accessories. So
it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. And and you're right, Evan. It's a solid case pack. That's not. I mean, usually when they do these deluxe figures, they're exclusive to Target, or they're exclusive somewhere. Grievous was an online, mostly it seemed like exclusive.
Yeah.
This is shipping to Walmart, it's shipping to Target, it's shipping to Best Buy, it's on Amazon. It's everybody is carrying this. So, it's not like Jar Jar's an army builder. It's not like the kind of thing where
Yeah.
you're going to need more than one in most cases. So. It's not really
Yeah.
surprising to me that this is happening with that figure.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's a
surprise
bummer.
me at all. I think it also kind of bums me out too, where I notice most stores that have still 2 cases of Jar Jar left at these places, they got a one and done of Boba Fett, even though it's a different product number. I think that Jar Jar, like they see is deluxe Star Wars figure at this price point doesn't sell. We don't need to order more, even though the next one was Boba Fett that everybody wanted. And
Yeah.
it was just like, I think this Jar Jar stumbling out the gate kind of screwed up that deluxe line just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens to Boba Fett. If that, I think it's going to sell better just because it's Boba Fett, but we'll see if, it's handled similarly, right? It's like solid case pack going to the same store. So we'll see what happens ultimately with him. And I guess that'll
I thought
impact these deluxe figures going forward.
I thought I had him pre-ordered somewhere, but I guess not. I didn't get one. I don't know. If I did pre-order it, I don't know from which site. I was looking around.
It'll
I
just
guess
show
I
up
missed
one
out on
day.
him. I mean, maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was going and checking through stuff, and I was like, well, I guess I skipped that one.
I think
Which I'm sort of bummed about, because then I could have put the 2 Boba Fetts next to each other and tried to figure out what the differences are.
Tom sent me a message after this. I think I pre-ordered. I still have 2 on pre-order, and I already have one. So if you want one of them, it's yours.
I'd appreciate that.
Yes.
Sweet.
Nice. So then the other deluxe is Wrecker. So that's one coming later this year. He's from the Bad Batch. And so they're still moving forward with this sort of deluxe thing, but we'll see what happens after that, right? Like if this, I mean, I don't know that people will need more than one Wrecker, like Jar Jar. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm a little nervous for this. I mean, I'm not nervous about them making less deluxe because I think $29.99 is already kind of expensive for what they're doing with most of these. But what I am concerned about is that we might not be getting some certain characters that are a little bit bigger because they're not going to have a way to move forward with them if they do away with this price point.
Yeah, the $29.99 like deluxe figure thing is a great idea for exciting characters. Like Boba Fett is a great use of that concept with the flamethrower accessories and all the stuff that he comes with. Zeb was
Gamorrean
also
Guard.
The Gamorrean Guard was also a good one. Moloch, not super exciting and didn't do well. Jar Jar was not a character that needed a deluxe release. I guess maybe they did it because maybe that complicated paint deco. I don't know. But yeah, it should be. I picture when I think the deluxe release, I think of things like Wrecker, like Zeb, like Boba Fett, either troop builders or bigger characters or exciting characters that have a lot of accessories. So yeah, Jar Jar was the head scratcher. I could see Boss Nass in a deluxe line before I see why Jar Jar would be in the deluxe line.
Right, and that would kill the pegs right there.
Oh yeah.
Which once again breaks my heart.
Yeah, I would love a Black Series Boss Nass. I mean, go crazy with it, Hasbro.
Yeah.
We need all the crazy aliens and everything. That's what we're really missing a
We
lot
ain't
of.
getting those anymore.
Yeah.
Those days are behind us. Get ready for another Luke Skywalker figure.
Ugh, yeah.
No. Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Sky Squawks
or
were.
Squawker.
Anyway, so let's get into newer, more recent reveals for Black Series. So Yeah, Hasbro just had their first Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest, and they showed us some of these pipeline reveals that they had previously revealed in January. And these are our first real looks at how these figures are going to look. So we have Casca Reeves, we have Aura Singh, we have Zero from The Mandalorian, and then we have Tech from The Bad Batch, and then General Lando from Return of the Jedi. So thoughts on these upcoming releases?
I think they look great. I think each one of the figures looks really good. I've got my pre-ordered Casca Reeves and Aura Singh. Very excited for another Clone Wars character there. Because of my lack of observation, when they're talking about that she's got the spike on her head, I was like, I didn't know she had a spike on her head. Yeah, those two I'm excited about. More so Aura Singh. I don't know if I'm going to get General Lando. He looks great. He does look great. I get a kick out of the weird cape because it's sort of like the old vintage General Lando cape where it's just sort of like, it's a cloth cape. Is it draped properly? Whatever, it's cloth. I guess, yeah, that's my feelings on those. I think each one looks good, and I'm happy to have seen them, the full versions of them.
Yeah. I think, for me, I think they all look great. I was kind of surprised. Part of me is a little bummed that Aura Singh doesn't come on a Phantom Menace in the Phantom Menace mural. I'm glad it's another Clone Wars character though, and I think that's one I'm most excited for. Victoria, I mentioned to you on the live stream the other night that my cousin was a big Aura Singh fan when we were kids, and she made sure to track down all the Aura Singh figures, and I had to get a couple for her as well. So this one's like a little nostalgia one for me. I would be more excited for Casca Reeves, but since she's basically the same body as Bo-Katan, like I'm excited for the character, but the figure is not like mind-blowing reveal. Lando looks great, and then what is the Q90 is one that kind of bothers me. Again, just as a TVC collector, where it's like I want him for my Razor Crest. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Black Series version, but it does look great.
It looks great.
Yeah,
it looks great.
Yeah, they. I think this is a fantastic wave.
It's a great wave.
Yeah, just like the current one. With Ventress, this is pretty solid. And it's pretty representative across Star Wars too. Mm-hmm. You have some Bad Batch / Clone Wars, and then Aura Singh prequel / Clone Wars, Mandalorian, and original trilogy.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Something blue would be Casca with her blue armor.
Yeah.
And so I did see somebody during these Q&As mention that, she shouldn't have shin guards. And that's true. She has boots in the Mandalorian, so they kind of messed up there.
Yeah.
Next time you do a Q&A with those guys, you should be like, you idiots! The hell are you thinking?
Yeah. Highly detailed Black Series. Come on, guys.
Whereas I'm sitting here being like, she's wearing boots?
Yeah. Like, this Qui-Gon lightsaber looks right with Luke Skywalker.
It's green or blue, right?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as the color's right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but these are cool. I think they mentioned that Tech was going to have like a metallic sort of thing to his goggles or his visor, and that the visor flips down.
Okay.
And somebody else mentioned that Zero's gun was wrong. So, it's just funny, like, all these fans notice all these little details that they somehow miss when they have access to all these renders and
yeah, we just have
stuff.
screen grabs and YouTube.
I know.
There's still so many, like, the process in these things is so complicated. Like, it's, I'm not surprised that these things get slipped through. Can I say what I was disappointed by, though? And I think you guys are going to agree.
Of course.
Where's the next set of pipeline figures? Previously, they showed us these as pipeline figures. I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. That is a great thing to do. I love that. Then they showed us 5 new figures. And I was telling Victoria, because I was messaging her during this, I'm like, all right, I'm going to sort of score this. You get +1 point for a new figure. And you get -1 for a repack or a recolor or a repaint or something like that. So the vintage collection did not do well by the old Tom metric. But on the flip side, Black Series did great.
Yeah.
Because it was 5 new figures.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of wondering if they're planning to do a little pipeline reveal every quarter, since this kind of lines up with this was, the end of just after the end of, quarter one. And so then May 4th, I guess, is when the next one is. So maybe we'll see some more pipeline reveals for waves coming after that, or
That'd be great.
deluxe figures or whatever. So
that's so close. That would be great. Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah,
so,
that bummed me out. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But,
I like the
5 new
pipeline
figures.
thing. Yeah, 5 new figures is nothing to shake a stick at. As a TVC collector, too, it's like all of our stuff was rehashed, whatever. Weirdly enough, for some reason, I'm still super positive about all the stuff that they're just doing, that they just announced, for more complicated reasons. It's easy for Black Series. It's like, oh, new, old, yes, no. Whereas Vintage Collection is like, well, how old, how new, what did they repurpose and why?
Right.
So
yeah,
it's funny, like, when you go online and Evan, this full well, like, Vintage Collection collectors are, they scrutinize every detail. I mean, as do Black Series, but with Vintage Collection, you get into the packaging and is this detail correct? Is the photo correct? Is the name pill color correct?
Yeah.
Is it the right version of the character to be on that card? And with Black Series, there are fans, that are serious about it, and they, obviously we're talking about these little details that they've missed, but it's quite a different thing. Like with TVC, it's a whole other level of like scrutiny and all that, like that you don't really see quite with Black Series yet.
Yeah. And Black Series is still young relatively in the toy collecting game, where it's like started into 2013, so it's 8 years old. That it's an impressively large line already. And the thing is, though, is because it's so relatively young, is stuff that's like General Lando, which is new and exciting for the Black Series. There's been how many in 3 3/4 inch? So it's we whenever we see one, it's like, oh, why'd you repack that one, or why can't we get a new update of this one? Whereas with Black Series, it was like, oh, cool, we get a General Lando.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where the Vintage Collection largely has a leg up on, or sorry, the Black Series largely has a leg up on the Vintage Collection at this point, is that pretty much any new figure they make, it's going to be a character debut for the most part. They can repurpose and repaint clones and, certain characters, Vaders, but they just haven't covered a ton of territory that already has been covered in the 3 3/4 inch scale that, any time you get a new character coming, people are going to be excited for it, and it's going to seem like, oh, I think you're going to see a little bit more of people, the perception that Black Series gets more attention than the Vintage Collection, which I think is true, but I think it's enhanced by the fact that, it is getting these new characters that have already been done in 3 3/4 that, so I mean, I think automatically you're going to have a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's the newness is built in to the Black Series, whereas the Vintage Collection is, fighting for the table scraps of newness if Hasbro feels inclined to scale down a sculpt.
Yeah.
So.
Well, also remember, like, as far as scaling down a sculpt, I hear this a lot, but you have to remember the tooling costs on these things, right? Like, if making the tool for, a 5-point of articulation figure's got a head, that's 1 tool, 2 arms, that's 3 tools there, 2 legs, 5 tools, and then the 2 pieces of the torso, that's 7 tools.
And the
super
joints.
Articulated.
And the joint, yeah. So
no, with a 5 POA when the joint is put in.
Oh, yeah.
With a super articulated figure, you've got so many more.
Yeah, like it's just 20 tools for each one.
Right. So it's like it's not the amount of plastic that it's going to cost. It's so like even scaling it down, you've got the sculpt.
Yeah.
But you don't have the tooling, and you could be, couple $100,000 to shrink one of those down.
Yeah. So it's a great starting point. It's nice to know that they can. I think Eric mentioned it in the most recent Q&A, that, they do talk about how they can scale up and down. It's just, again, like you said, it is the tooling cost. I do think, though, if they kind of put a little more effort on balancing the lines a little bit more, even of just, they'd be seeing a little bit less ire. Even like with this Bo-Katan and with the Jackson situation, even 2 figures that 3 3/4 inch have been screaming about for, years, almost a decade for Bo-Katan and multiple decades for Jackson. And then
absolutely
Hasbro throws them out into the Black Series real fast and It's like, oh, ouch. Could you give us, just scale those down and, invest the money in that, and you'll make it right back, because everybody wants them, obviously. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess in the end, that is the question on if the market for the 3 3/4 is still there. And I think the argument from the folks at Hasbro is that the market has dwindled to a point that it's not as financially feasible.
Yeah. I have my thoughts on that, but it's a Black Series podcast, so I won't get into it. But I do really love, though, with the Black Series reveals, that more often than not, it's like, cool, character debut, like you said, Victoria. It's like, oh, cool, new sculpt, character from current media. It's like, heck, we've got almost all the Bad Batch coming this year already in Black Series. That's cool. For Black Series collectors, not cool for 3 3/4 inch, but whatever. There's really awesome stuff, and I'm really excited for Boba Fett and live action Ahsoka to be making their debuts sooner rather than later in Black Series, which I'm sure they will. I hope they come to TVC too, but I'm guaranteed they'll come to Black Series, and I'm excited to see what they look like.
I bet those ones will come to Vintage Collection too.
I really hope so. You would think that Supreme Leader Kylo Ren would have come to the Vintage Collection, but alas.
Right. Yeah, so, one of the things that Eric said that was also interesting is sometimes we wonder, well, why can't they release the same figures in both scales at the same time? And I forget whose Q&A it was who asked the question, but his response was that it's actually advantageous for them to stagger them, because if they do a character in Black Series first, then they can kind of iron out, what did and didn't work, what details were missed for when it moves to Vintage, or vice versa. So that was an interesting thing to hear from them.
Yeah, I get the reasoning behind that. I don't know if I totally buy it, because think of how many figures, and also different scales, they cater to different collectors. So it's like, again with Jar Jar and Bo-Katan, of course, is going to sell well, but like Jackson, all these things are, if they sell poorly in Black Series, Hasbro will probably look at that and be like, oh, people don't want these characters. Where it's like, no. You may have just made it for the wrong audience. There's another subset of the base that would buy them like hotcakes, but they can't. Right. So it's, it's like, don't learn the wrong lessons here, Hasbro, from something like Grief Karga Season 1 selling poorly in the Black, like Grief Karga and Quill selling poorly in Black Series right now. Whereas, Quill would sell, he's one of the most wanted figures in TVC, and I think he would sell great in that line, especially if they had a blurg and with the Razor Crest with the whole world building aspect. Whereas you look at him in, the Black Series, and there's nothing for him to really interact with other than Mando and the Child. There's no Dios, there's no giant vehicles, there's no blurg. And then Grief Karga Season 2 is peg warming in Vintage Collection, because he's literally the only Season 2 character. There's nothing for him to interact with. There's not, you could kind of use Cara Dune, but even her costume changed. He can talk to Mando, but you can put him in the speeder, but he's got, nothing else to really do. And it's kind of a bummer. I think he would sell better if there was like a wave of 8 characters that all supplemented, if it was all themed and like all 8 Mandalorian characters. It's more exciting when you can buy groups as opposed to like, oh, cool, let me get Grief Karga, and then, I would love to have an IG-11. Oh, later this year? That's a while. Oh, I'd love to have a Quill. Oh,
never.
They're looking into it? Okay, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Since I collect both, I feel like I do get to see up close and personal of just, the different audiences and what people are wanting out of certain things, out of each scale.
That's pretty accurate. Like, yeah, you want to. Star Wars was always kind of about the world building stuff, right? You get, that's why people love the Cantina and people love Jabba's Palace. Jabba's Palace is one of the weirdest freaking things in Star Wars. We showed that movie to a friend of mine who'd never seen it before a few years ago, and the first 40 minutes of the movie, she's like, "What the heck is this?
Yeah.
It's just puppets talking to other puppets and this is stupid. What? This is the stupidest." And it's like, and I'm just like, huh.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It's my favorite stuff.
Yeah.
But it's weird. But it's all the world building stuff. And that's why it's like, we want the sail barge, and then we want all the guys to put in the sail barge. If it's just, oh boy, it's Grief Karga.
Yeah.
Great. He can stand at a table.
Yep.
Here's Cara Dune.
That's it, yeah.
She can say, these blast doors won't hold for long.
And hit stormtroopers with her gun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they are great figures, though. That's not to say that they aren't. Like the Quill and Grief in Black series are great action figures. I really enjoy them. I think the Grief in the Vintage collection is a little superior, just facial wise, and I think it's a great figure. And Cara in the Vintage collection is great. I think she's just on par with quality wise with the Black series version. I think since that is one where they very clearly just scaled it down, and those two releases are just almost identical except for scale, and they both look great.
Yeah, and people, well, I know the credit collection version of Cara Dune before the whole Gina Carano issue was just sitting on shelves everywhere, worse than Jar Jar.
And now it's the only one you can't get. You can still get
now
all the rest.
That's rare. That's worth money now.
Yeah, I laugh with the whole it's been canceled thing, and I walk into Target and they just keep getting cases and cases of the Mission Fleet Cara Dune set, like the multi-pack, like the Save the Child. And it's got Cara Dune in it, and they keep getting cases. There was 18 of that set at a Target I went to the other day. And there was only 12 the day before. They got a new shipment of it.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Masters of the Universe fan. So my recent trips to a Target and a Walmart, it was just He-Man and Skeletor. And I imagine when those sell through, it's gonna be He-Man and Skeletor again until Turtles all the way down.
Right. Hey, do you need a Roboto? I accidentally picked up an extra one.
I actually scored one.
Okay.
From Amazon or something like that.
Yeah.
I thank you though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been hunting them for my friend John, so I found almost all of them except for Scareglow is the only one I haven't found for him.
All right.
So, but those are a pain to find, but they're not as hard to find as new Star Wars product.
Yeah, at least they're on the shelves.
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Distribution is at its worst, and
Yeah, we talked about that on your show a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
It's just online now.
Yeah.
You want it? Amazon. Or if you don't hate humanity, Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside, Entertainment Earth.
Yeah.
I still buy lots of stuff from Amazon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how to convey that. I totally didn't renew my Amazon Prime membership. I'm like, I did. I'm so sorry. I wish I didn't.
What happens when they have a monopoly on stuff?
I know. I'm a corporate slave. I know what I am. I'm so sorry. But I need my toys.
Yeah, you can't get them anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean damaged, but hey, you can't get them anywhere else if they're Amazon exclusive.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I'm not bitter.
No, not at all. Nobody's bitter at all. So I think this is a good time to get into our little show and tell portion of the show. So, Tom, do you want to kick us off with whatever it is that you want to show us, Star Wars new that you've added to your collection?
Asajj Ventress Black Series just arrived the other day. I love this figure. I don't know if the camera is catching it or not. It looks real blurry, right? I don't have the best camera, but I haven't figured out what cool pose I'm going to put her in yet. But I love this character. I've been waiting a long time for this figure. Everything about this is 10 out of 10 out of 10 figure right here.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to put her in. I just haven't gotten around to putting her in my display yet. As I think I mentioned before we were recording, it means either one of my clones or one of my battle droids needs to go into the bin to be, to make space for Asajj.
And for the UK collectors, he doesn't mean the trash. He means like a storage container.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. Storage, a storage bin. Yeah, a storage bin. I've got one upstairs that are the back stock of Star Wars guys.
Yeah.
Does
her
swap around.
Her lightsabers, do they snap together? Do they have like if they do they have like the same hook that the 3 3/4 inch one used to have when they made her, or is it like a peg?
Isn't that a good question?
Sorry to put you on the spot. I was just curious.
No, it's a little peg thingy.
Okay.
Yeah, they attach together. Is there a hook? I don't think I see a hook on them.
Okay.
Could there be a hook on the lightsaber?
No. So what it used to be, I'm looking at the I've got the old 3 3/4 one where they put like a little hook on the bottoms that they, hooked in like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think so on this. Not on the lightsabers.
Okay, so they don't stick together to make the double blade?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, they've got the little peg.
Oh, okay, cool, little peg. All right, cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Asajj Ventress is a great character. And deserved to be done in on screen and not in a novel.
I was just re-listening to Dark Disciple, and it was very much like, as much as I do enjoy that book, I would have loved to have seen that get animated.
Yeah.
So I love Quinlan Voss as well. He's another one I'd love to see in Black Series.
Yeah, he was great in the Clone Wars. Did he only show up in the Clone Wars once?
Yeah, the Hunt for Zero in that episode.
Man, I loved him. I loved that episode.
Yeah.
Man, everything about that was
great. So, Evan, what do you have that's brand new?
Well, brand new. It's not super brand new. It's actually, I've been revisiting some figures that I haven't been, enjoying as much as I'd like. And definitely it's the Clone Commander. For some reason they called him that. Clone Commander Obi-Wan. I know this was 2019 was that Walgreens exclusive. I'd opened them when I got them. But I just opened them up again this week because I wanted to kind of pose them a little bit. With the rumors of there being another Obi-Wan release in the Black Series, like for Archive, I was just curious if they were going to maybe use this. This is a fantastic head sculpt on this Obi-Wan. If that's the one that they're going to use for the update, or if they're going to do maybe something different. I know there's another one rumored. I don't know if it's going to be new or not. But regardless, this is one of my favorite looks from the Tartakovsky series, and with that now being on Disney Plus and revisiting it, kind of renewed my passion, even though he needs the Attack of the Clones head instead on here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But
you swap him with your Attack of the Clones guy.
I actually was planning on doing that. I got an extra Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan, and this is actually an extra of this as well, so I think I am going to swap him out. I'm a little let down by the fact that it is, the old clone body, but based on people's reception to the new clone body and some of the fragile pieces and issues with that, I'm actually okay with it being the old body because you can still get pretty decent poses out of them. So I quite like this figure. I don't know how much he is on the aftermarket, so I don't mean to sound tone deaf when I say if you don't have this figure, get it. But if it's more than $40, I'd still say get it if you want it, but just don't look at me and blame me for making a bad financial choice if it's really expensive. So
that's I always get startled when I find out when I'm just like, just go buy Commander Cody.
Yeah,
he's sitting on the pegs. He's only $150.
Whoa,
what?
Yeah. Although there is one sitting on pegs at the Walmart near my house, so if someone does need one and it's still there, let me know.
Those Walgreens exclusives are so hard to find. Like that Obi-Wan.
$99
for what? For this Obi-Wan
Clone Commander.
Okay, so if you spend $99 on this, please do not point to this stream or me individually as the scapegoat if anyone who loves you is mad at you for your financial irresponsibility. But I'm not going to discourage you from getting this figure because it's a great figure.
Yeah. Re-release it, guys. Re-release it, Hasbro.
Yeah. It looks great. I found it one time. We went to visit my husband's family, and the Walgreens there, I've had good luck there in the past. That's actually where I found when they had the exclusive C-3PO. That I found that there too. So it's like I gotta go 6 hours away to find some of these Walgreens exclusives, and I still don't have the more recent the Clone Trooper that have the blue Clone Trooper. I still haven't gotten that one.
Oh,
my Walgreens stopped. They stopped carrying stuff before the pandemic. There's nothing.
Yeah.
No Marvel Legends. No Black Series Star Wars. That clone Obi-Wan was the last one I think I got there, and I just wanted the head of it, so I just threw the body away.
Oh man, I need to find where you live so I can go through your trash and get cool action figure pieces. Apparently,
I'm just joking.
Sure. No, Victoria, I'll keep an eye out because I did find that blue clone trooper is actually plentiful in the town that my mom lives in. So when I go visit, cool. I will go and do that.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I'd appreciate that because no luck around here.
For sure. I found two the first time, grabbed one for my buddy John and one for myself, but I know they do get weird shipments at these weird podunk little Walgreens, so I will go check and let you know what I find.
Sweet.
Big city Walgreens don't care about your Black Series figures. And they're like, I don't care.
No.
Sweet. Sounds good. Well, here's mine. And I already mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I have Bo-Katan. And she
So excited
is
for that.
amazing.
So good.
She is amazing.
What a good character.
Dang.
Yeah, just the detail on her helmet, rocket pack, everything is oops, wrong way. She's got holsters, like just everything about her is top notch. Of course, you got the removable helmet, which you know when you do this, it is kind of a tight fit, so you kind of got to pinch it the right way to slide it off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I used to call her Starbuck Fett.
Starbuck Fett.
Yeah, I didn't know what her name was for. So there was Jon Favreau Fett and Starbuck Fett for the
All the
their
Mandalorians
first
are
few
Fett.
appearances. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I'm really excited for that figure.
Me too. I got to figure out where I have her pre-ordered from and if or when she'll ever show up, because I think she is maybe one of the figures I'm most excited for in general between all the lines right now. Yeah. So I'd love to see her in TVC, but in the meantime, I can't wait to get that Black Series 1.
Yeah.
And once again, she does go with my shirt, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Question. So the colors really pop on that Bo-Katan, as well as some of the other, like a lot of the figures recently. Like some folks were complaining that they seem almost like oversaturated. I kind of am digging at just how vibrant some of these figures are turning out, just because, you know, the way that they're lit and presented on screen isn't always representative of the color of the costume. So yeah, I like how bright they look. You can do a lot of fun stuff with editing and photography if you want them to look, you know, more like a screenshot. But I'm digging just how bright and lively the colors are recently. So that's just me.
I'm right there with you. I like the more figures that come out that are just gray or brown. You know, my most wanted Black Series figures, though, it's the Max Rebo band. So there's a bright yellow plant thing with a long snout, and a pink pig and a blue elephant thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, every time it's like, oh, it's, you know, like the Bad Batch figures, they look great, but all the time they're black and gray. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's kind of why I had a soft spot for the Kenner Deco Black Series figures. Just like,
yeah,
I don't need them. They're not necessary. I again, another thing that doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense in Black Series, but they look great. And I really like that, how they pop. I know Steve Evans has been doing Kenner Deco figures of, like, you know, from the comics or whatever on his Instagram of just doing Photoshop works on them. And it's like, I'd buy that Black Series Obi-Wan 5 times over with different paint schemes, purple robe, green lightsaber, green robe, purple lightsaber, whatever. I just think it's neat, but I'm that guy.
So I want to show really quick the little Happy Meal toy that I got today. This is the Sith Trooper, and this is actually the one I wanted. So I'm glad that I got it. I don't know why. I just like the Sith Troopers. I just think the armor's cool, and it's red, and so it's got these little disc things that you put into the Star Destroyer that it's part of, and then it's got like a wheel down here,
that's
and
neat.
then you just got to go like.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it kind of shoots out, kind of doesn't.
Right.
Maybe I need to put all 3 of them in there. But yeah, they're these little discs. And I guess that's laser fire or something.
Okay, I was like, oh, is it a pog?
And,
That's fun.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tricky, but like...
It ain't transforming chicken nuggets, but I'll take it.
Oh my god. Yeah, those were the best. Oh, here we go. I think it's going to work now. No, not really.
I think it just sort of fell
You
out,
gotta
right?
you gotta do it on the surface. Like, you gotta roll it. If I do it with my hand, it doesn't work. But if I roll it here on the desk,
You're not energetic enough, Victoria. Be young.
Yeah, like they do shoot out. Like if you roll it on the desk, like they do shoot out. Anyway,
Now
so
I want
that's
McDonald's.
that's
me
that.
too.
Yeah.
Are we sponsored by McDonald's? If so, let me know what to say so I can, you know, get some free toys and some free fries.
I love McDonald's so much. It's the Golden Arches of Love.
Yeah. So, anyhow, before we wrap up here, the last thing I wanted to ask you guys was to list off one. If Hasbro said, "Hey, we're making one more Black Series figure that's not announced that you don't know about, and this is it. The line's over," who would it be?
Ooh.
So, Evan, let's start with you.
Oh no. Let's see. That is a tough. You know what? Just one. Go big. Go crazy. Give me Spider Legs Maul.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think there's many characters that I think I like more. I would love to see a Mandalorian Obi-Wan, but that's something, you can make with stuff that already exists. And when he's in that Mandalorian armored disguise, I, would of course love to see a new Anakin, new Obi-Wan. I'd love to see Ben Solo, Palpatine from Rise of Skywalker. But I think just to get absolutely crazy with it would definitely be Spider-Legs Maul. They could reuse whatever the torso is, but give him a new head sculpt with the crazy horns and then go nuts on a super articulated insect body form, that trash body. I think that would be what I'd pick.
Nice. That's a good pick.
That's a great pick. I hate to say this, mine would be the Clone Wars or Crimson Dawn version of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
It's because the one he's got in the season 7 and when he showed up in season 5 or whatever after the spider legs.
Yeah.
And after the chicken legs too. Because he was really prevalent in those stories and I really liked those a lot. I made a custom animated one years ago, so I'm very excited about the vintage collection one that's coming out. I might just swap the head with an animated one. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like if you my top want for Black Series is the Size Noodle and the Max Rebo Band. But if it had to be one figure, and that was it, because now we've got a couple Ahsokas, right? We've got a bunch of clones. Got a good set of stuff from the Clone Wars. The one character I'd say that would really round out my Clone Wars set would be that version of Darth Maul.
That's a good choice. I would love a Solo Maul. I love those.
I think he's going to be coming in as a special edition thing in that box that he showed up in.
Yeah.
And remember when they stick him in that box? I bet he'll be a
con exclusive.
Some exclusive.
Yeah. That. Oh my God! I hadn't even thought about that. And do I give
bet
you my money now for that, or who?
No, give Hasbro the money and just. But we get the figure.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, Hasbro, is $50 enough to tool this up? And they'll be like, yeah,
know,
if 10,000 of you want it, yeah.
It's got to be even more than that. What about you, Victoria?
So for me, it would be Kira, and I know I just told him about this again in the latest Q&A, and I mentioned this every time. I know I've had you mention this to them at a New York Toy Fair, Tom, but it's got to be that Kira.
Yep.
I know that. Like number 2 would, I'm cheating. Number 2 would be Bodine. I kind of feel like he should be number 1 because he's not ever been done in 6-inch. But the thing about Kira is that it's Kira. I like Kira better. So like her,
me too.
Her, that outfit that she had for most of the film, it just has. There's a 5 POA Force Link 2.0 version from a box set that came out. But
yeah, that's the Kira I have on my 3 3/4 inch shelf with my TVC.
Yeah, and she's nice, but it's not articulated. So, I would take her in either scale, but for Black Series, that's the one that I would want. I know they've already nailed her likeness, as they did with the first Black Series figure, but I want to see her with the full Kessel outfit with the cape and all that. That's just needs to happen. Needs to happen.
Just no question.
Oh, I'm
just
yeah. I'd buy many. I don't know why, but I'd buy many just so they keep making things like that.
Yes. I'd buy a couple at least.
That one, the only reason that one's not my number 1 is because my dominant display thing is Clone Wars. But yeah, the Solo figures I loved so much because I loved that movie. It was just so goofy.
Yeah.
And she was great in it. She was really interesting character. She had a cape.
Yeah.
And she had a fake name that was a parody of the Trade Federation stuff. Viceroy of the whatever kooky thing was. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. I'll tell you what, any one of these sign me up for.
Yeah.
Spider Maul, Clone Wars Maul, Kira.
Yeah.
I just got the Hot Toys Solo Maul, and he's good.
Oh,
yeah. He's good.
That's I'm not going to say that one wasn't tempting.
Yeah, all of those Hot Toys are so dang tempting. I just sold my Mythos Obi-Wan that I had because I loved it, but every time I looked at it, it's like, I need to just get more to go with it.
Yeah.
I'm poor. I can't do that. So I just had to get rid of them because every time they announce the pre-orders for a new Hot Toy like Sideshow stuff, I'm sitting there and I put it in the cart and I go through the checkout thing. I just never hit complete checkout. It hurts.
It's a slippery slope. You buy one, then you're not going to stop at one.
Yeah,
There's
That's
no
why
way.
I'm not buying any.
Yep, that's why I sold the one I had, so I don't feel compelled anymore.
I told myself I was just going to get the Black Series Darth Maul when that first came out, because I'm not switching to this doggone 6-inch scale, you rapscallions.
They get you in the end. Oh, Hasbro.
Yeah.
I'm a good consumer. Capitalism!
Yay! That's why I have all the Galaxy of Adventures and Mission Fleet figures, too.
I started off, like, when I first started getting into Hot Toys, I bought one DTOF, like, to put them in, and I was like, okay, if it doesn't fit in this DTOF, you're not buying any more. Like, that's just, you're not going to buy any more.
That was 6 DTOFs ago, wasn't it?
It was 3 DTOFs ago, but close.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, it's been fun. Thanks for chatting Black Series. We haven't kept up with it a whole lot lately, so it's nice to kind of look back and see what's been announced recently, what was announced last week at FanFest, and just kind of talk about our thoughts on these new figures and what we'd like to see. So thank you guys for both participating once again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. I love talking toys.
Anytime. So Evan, where can our listeners go to find you online?
Well, if this is a Black Series episode, so if you're a Black Series collector, trigger warning, it'd be SWTVC is where you'll find me. I do a lot of 3 3/4 inch stuffs and, the heritage scale, whatever. That's where my main passion is. But you can also find me at Mile High Ground on Instagram. That's my personal account, and there is some Black Series stuff on there since I am a journeyman of collecting, and I'll get whatever I can find. So in fact, I might actually post some pictures of this Obi-Wan figure since I have him out. So I will maybe try to do that this weekend. So yeah.
Awesome. So definitely go check Evan out, and we'll definitely have to have you back on the show sometime.
Thank you. I'd love to be invited back if I haven't ruined it too much with TVC talk on a Black
We
Series
ruin it
podcast.
every time, don't we, Tom?
I love TVC, man. It's used to call it. It's the heritage scale.
Yeah.
I get more excited about Black Series stuff these days just because, as you said, like,
It exists.
if I get Max Rebo in Black Series, it's new and exciting. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. And Tom, where can our listeners go to find you online?
Online, you can find me at Woozlin Demon on Twitter or on Instagram, though I think the last thing I posted on Instagram was probably January or something like that. But yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm not that interesting. But,
And your new show, the Gin Masters Pod.
the Gin Masters Podcast. Yes, I'm going to do that. That's just going to be me whenever, like, we did the Instagram live last week, and I came home and I was already like 4 deep. Hey guys!
So we did an Instagram live last week, and that is on my Instagram page. If anyone wants to check that out too, that was fun. So we did that. Well, cool guys, thanks again, and I'll catch you very soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, cheers. Take care.
And that's a wrap for this episode. Victoria's Cantina began on YouTube, and you can find plenty of toy content on the Victoria's Cantina YouTube channel. We are also on Instagram, showcasing toy photography at Victoria's Cantina, as well as Facebook at Victoria's Cantina, and on Twitter, ranting and raving about toys and other nonsense at Vic's Cantina. For fun and random toy clips, follow us on TikTok at Victoria's Cantina. Got a question or something you'd like to share with us? Drop us a line in the fax machine. You can email victoriascantina@yahoo.com. If you are so inclined and wish to drop a coin in the tip jar, we are on Patreon, where you can gain greater access to the channel while helping to keep the content rolling. For VC branded merchandise such as t-shirts, ball caps, mugs, and other fun stuff, visit us on Teespring and TeePublic. Links to all of these magical places can be found in the show notes. Do you got a minute or two? If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating and drop a brief review explaining why you enjoy the show. As always, I'm Victoria, and no matter where you're listening out in the galaxy, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Cantina Chatter Podcast.